Hello, YouTube. Um, so I've been making these videos for about 6 months now, close to the beginning of pandemic quarantining. Um, and a lot of these videos have been about rum, you may notice. That's because I think rum is still extremely underrated and misunderstood. There's a lot of terrible rum out there, most of which I have not reviewed because it's terrible. And there's a lot of really good rum out there that goes unrecognized. So I thought I would take a step back and make a video on, if you are someone out there trying to explore rum, learn a little bit about rum, what are the 4 bottles you start with? If you were going to keep it to 4. Now, just to be clear, this video is not about, if you just turned 21 and you're looking for a bottle that's $12 you can mix with Coca-Cola. Anything will do, by the way, because you're mixing it with Coke, it's not going to taste like anything anyways. This video is not for you. This is, no, like, come back in a few years and we'll talk. This is about folks who've, put their time in a little bit. Maybe they've tried their Cruzans and Bacardis, and maybe tried a Diplomatic or two, maybe a few other things, and they're looking to sort of kind of move up a little bit, or bourbon drinkers, whiskey drinkers, Scotch drinkers, who are thinking of migrating over because the prices in whiskey have gotten frankly silly. This is for those folks. So if I were to give you a tour around the world of rum in 4 bottles, what would they be? Well, I'm going to mainly focus on independent producers, with one exception, because the exception is really the non-negotiable one, the one that you have to have under your belt, I think. I'm also going to focus on ones bottled at higher proof, because I think those are kind of where the values are at the moment. I will give you some alternatives, again, except for the one that is non-negotiable. But mainly, it's going to be like, the independent producers and, bottled in the stratosphere. So where do we start? It's hard to do this, right? Because rum is made all over the world in a variety of different styles. Can be pot distilled, can be pollen distilled, can be blended, can be made from cane juice, can be made from molasses. What kind of molasses? Are you, how long is the fermentation period before you distill it? Just a zillion little questions like this that can all make rums a little bit different from each other. Before we even started talking about like different cane varietals, different terroirs, different aging approaches, it gets really complicated. But if you're trying to build a palate, what would I recommend? Well, let's start with a non-negotiable one. This is Wray and Nephew, white overproof rum, bottled at a impressive 63% alcohol. If you're actually in Jamaica or visiting, you are free to substitute Charlie's or some of those other funky local white overproofs for your Wray and Nephew, which is the one that. But if you're stuck in the U.S. like I am, no, you have to know this one. This is the one you have to buy, and that is no tragedy, because this is possibly the best $26, $22, $24, $26 you can spend in a liquor store in terms of value. God, I love the nose on this stuff. I'm just going to enjoy a glass on this while I go through this list. I'm going to give it a squirt of water because, 126 proof. This is a blend of heavy pot distillate and a column distillate. And what's important to know about that is that sometimes that doesn't work. In this case, the two really just work together wonderfully. It's a wonderful marriage of characters. The column distillate is not, bringing this down and kind of filling it out and making it. It's actually providing a lovely kind of whipped cream note to this, which is otherwise very driven by kind of yeah, kind of root vegetables, a little herbaceousness. If you're a whiskey drinker coming to this and saying, no, 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 I don't want the unaged stuff. I don't want white rum. Give me the dark rum. Give me the values in dark rum. That's, you know, around $25. That's what I want. There kind of aren't any. Dark rum starts to get excited at a higher price point. The values around $25-$30, or even getting up to $40, are really the unaged stuff. We can, you know, go a little bit deeper into nerddom. We can start talking about Clarins and things like that. But for right now, you know, start with this guy because God, it's good. Okay, second option. This is really what happens if you take something like this kind of blended sort of rum, molasses based, and age it a little bit. My second bottle is Foursquare. This is one of their vintage releases. This is the 2007. Any Foursquare will do. They're pretty much all the same. They're all excellent. I recommend the vintage releases because you know, they're bottled at close to 60% alcohol, and they're really, there's no fancy finishing or anything like that. It's just you know, 12-year-old, or, you know, I think the 2008 is 11-year-old, but, you know, old bourbon cask matured, tropically matured, blended molasses-based rum, and they do it very, very well. Nothing. Now you're going to look at this, and especially the 2008, which is a little bit pricier, and say, okay, hang on, $80-$90? That's way too expensive. I'm not paying that for a bottle of rum. Here's the thing. People are, throughout the U.S., whiskey drinkers are paying $130 for Stag Junior right now. This is a value for what it is. It really is. If you're looking at it in any kind of relative standpoint. That being said, if you want to buy yourself a bottle of Appleton 12-year-old, that will also kind of fill this blended aged whiskey niche. It's not anywhere near as good, in my opinion, but it's pretty good. You can also buy the Hamilton 114, the Navy strength. That's a good representative of this same kind of style. In fact, I might like it a hair more than the Appleton 12, but, you know, neither one of these is as good as this. So, next up, I would recommend that you have a serious, heavy pot distilled rum, and they don't come better than Hamden Overproof. I adore this bottling. Hamden, for me, one of the top 5 distillers in the world. Period. This is their. They've done a couple of bottlings, but this is for me the one to go for. Again, if it's too pricey, you can get other, you know, heavy pot distill options. Particularly Jamaica is the one you're going to find them from. But let me think. Worthy Park has the Gold, which is $30. There's also Smith and Cross, which is also around $30. Neither of those is as refined, especially not the Smith and Cross, or as, you know, deep and complicated, or as this. But you know, if you just want to stick your toes in, they're fine. They're good options, and they will mix well with in a daiquiri. This is just on another level. I mean, this is one of the best things I've tried all year, frankly, in any style, and you know, so yeah, go, just buy these. I mean, the quality is there, really. I'm not trying to, you know, blow smoke up your behind. The quality is there. God, this is good though. I mean, yeah, it needs a splash of water, but Ray and Nephew is, you know, I mean, it's the best $25 you can spend in a liquor store. Let's leave it at that. My last bottle is going to be an Agricult rum. I'm going for Nason. This is made in Martinique. There are other options. I would say, aside from this, go for the uh, Rum JM series. They have that has a 55 percent alcohol. That's when they just put out. I would go for that one. Um, More often, you will probably see Clement. I would skip them if you possibly can. There's also La Favorite. That's probably more common than this is. That's, in my opinion, not quite as good, but better than the Clement. Go for that if you have to make the choice. Um, this is fantastic to sip on its own, and it's very, you know, uh, briny and a little tarry and floral, and gives you good representation of what an Agricult style cane juice based rum can do. This is kind of where, if you like this, start heading into Clarin territory. But this is the one to start on. What else do I want to say about this? You will be tempted, especially if you're coming from whiskey, to say, "No, I want the aged version of one of these. I'm going to get me an aged Agricult." Resist that temptation. I think these actually, until they start to get more age on them and start to grow up a little bit, but those start to get really expensive. I think the Blancs are actually more interesting, and certainly better value. So this is like, this is a liter bottle, and I think it's something around 38, $40, something like that. And it's terrific. And again, it will, rock your world in a tea punch. This is it. I think, if you have a bottle of each of these, or even, not an equivalent, but a decent substitute, you will have a pretty good rum palate. You will know sort of what it's about, roughly. There's still going to be stuff out there that's going to surprise you, but you'll have the basics down. These are the basics, especially this. Start here. This is where serious rum starts. It's just like, throw me the best you got at $25, and I will match it with this. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Hope this was educational, informative, and cheers.